Pretty much everything that we're using today contains chemicals that are foreign to the biological experience of the human condition, and so we're seeing reactions from that. I mean, every year we're seeing anywhere from 30 to 50,000 adverse events that are reported in the United States alone to do with cosmetics and various personal care products.
It's important to take every single possible step to reduce avoidable exposures to carcinogens. And the major class of carcinogens to which the Australian public can focus on as a large source of avoidable carcinogenic exposures are cosmetics and personal care products.
A chemical I'm concerned about is sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS, and the reason I'm concerned about it is, first of all, we know it's used extensively in industry as a degreaser, but nowadays it's found in just about every single one of the personal care products that an individual will have. So you've got it in your soaps, you've got it in your shampoos, conditioners, you've got it in your toothpaste, anything that foams up, you've got sodium lauryl sulfate.
And it is particularly harsh on our skin. It strips away all the natural oils, and it's not only on our skin that we have to look at, but this is commonly found in toothpastes as well.
And of course, in a toothpaste, it's mixed with another half a dozen or a dozen products. And of course, they can also disrupt the cells in the mouth. The SLS can then be absorbed quicker into the blood, whereas it's exactly where you don't want it. Why do you want a foaming agent in your blood? It's crazy.
I find that propylene glycol is one of the main ingredients that we need to look out for. Propylene glycol has very harsh effects on our system. It is known to be an industrial cleansing agent, so even though it might cleanse our skin and hair and so forth, we've got to look at the cost, the health cost that it has on our system. So when you're looking at products like soaps and shampoos and even dishwashing liquids and those sorts of things, that these are commonly used ingredients because they can give us that foaming agent and that cleansing aspect.
And so we find that, for example, diethanolamine causes cancer in rats. Now, would I want my children to be bathing in a bubble bath with diethanolamine in it? And it's unforgivable that cosmetic companies are using it. It's unexplainable that the governments, etc., are allowing this to happen. But the most surprising thing is that the cancer societies around the world have not put their foot down. This has been going on since 1975. We have known about it since 1975 or 77. And so we're looking at something like 35, 40 years of complete disregard for human safety.
Look, after 20 years of research to do with the home environment, to do with the indoor air quality, it's told us at the moment we've got it wrong. We've really got it wrong. We've got to change the way we look at the home environment. Rather than worrying about the bacteria and the fact that there may be some contaminant from a natural source, we need to actually look at what's causing the big problems. And these are literally the toxic chemicals that we bring into the home.
When you consider that we are exposed to these chemicals from conception to death, when you consider the interaction between all these chemicals and the fact that they accumulate in the body, in organs, etc., the combined effect can be extremely damaging.
We have a multi-trillion-dollar industry that has interposed itself between the plucking of the apple and the eating of it. And how old is your food? How long has it been on the road? How long does it take to get it to you? How long is it stored for? Is it stored in temperature-controlled conditions that will prevent the food from degrading? We know there are vitamin C issues with food that is left lying around at room temperature. We also know that a lot of these foods are grown in soils that have become progressively deficient in minerals over the years, so we end up with sick crops.
When you're talking about Australia, we already have the poorest soils in the world. And then if you farm them just a couple of times, you're losing all of those into the plants and they're not being replaced. We literally only replace the stuff that makes the plant look tall and green so that we can sell it.
Which passes the whole problem to the agrochemical industry, who now have to offer farmers pesticides, herbicides and a whole range of chemicals to rid the bugs. Of course, the bugs are only there because the food is sick. And that's the food that goes into the food chain.
For example, if you've ever tasted a backyard tomato grown in good soil, it's delicious. And the ones you get from the shop are empty of taste and empty of nutrients.
it concerns me when I hear this nonsense that people go on with when they say, oh, but doctor, I don't need to take a supplement because I eat a lot of good food. Well, they might be thinking they're eating a lot of good food, and as I said, fruit and vegetables are very important, but I don't think in this modern society that it's enough.
What we need most of all are literally a balancing system, and that is supplements. Antioxidants, essential fatty acids, the vitamins and minerals, these are absolutely essential for a healthy 21st century individual.
So in a natural world, we have that amount of free radicals, and our natural diet that we have from eating good fresh food, we create that amount of antioxidants, so we balance the free radicals versus the antioxidants. And the people living in a very natural environment don't get the heart disease and the cancer. In our world, where we get that amount of free radicals, only that amount of antioxidants, there's that huge shortfall, and that's why I believe we really need to markedly increase the dose of antioxidants we get from all sources, not just from food.
We definitely need to look at putting in additional nutrients into our system. So supplements in the form of herbal and nutritional, mineral, etc. are a very easy way to top our system up, keep our immune system on track for our life.
And there are some reasonable supplements you can get from a supermarket, but a lot of them are the cheapest varieties, and you're walking, oh, that looks pretty cheap, I'll take that. It's not going to do you any good. You're wasting your money. So if you're going to take supplements, my strong advice to everyone is to take the best quality, naturally sourced combination supplements.
Not just getting people on the right track with what they're eating, but to try and make sure that we actually top up their diet with nutrients that are missing in this day and age.
So prevention is so important, but what's the problem in our modern medical system? We have the ambulance parked at the bottom of the cliff waiting for people to fall off. So instead of fixing the rails at the top of the cliff, what do we do in medicine? We build faster ambulances. We wait for someone to have their heart attack or their bowel cancer operation, and then we give them treatment. That's craziness.
What we need to do is to focus on disease prevention and cancer prevention, and the time for this is past. The wake-up call is that we are not a healthy society, we're a sick society, we're getting sicker and sicker and sicker every day because of the reckless policies of global industries, petrochemical industries, whose interests are so great and whose influence with governments and regulatory agencies are so great that the information of the risks of their products is not being communicated to the public, hasn't been communicated to the public, and will not be.
I think what we all have to do is realise that it's not someone else's problem. If you're listening to this today, realise that what happens in the environment is every single person's responsibility, every single person's problem. So I believe life is about making a decision. It's not making the big decision that you're going to change the planet. It's not making the big decision you're going to change yourself and be healthy. It's making 30, 40, 50 small decisions every day. Decisions like, no, I won't use the elevator or the lift or the escalator. I'll walk up the stairs. No, I won't eat that biscuit. I'll have a piece of fruit, or I'll have a handful of natural nuts or something like that. I won't yell at that idiot in the traffic who just cut in front of me. It's about making all those small decisions. No, I will use a more natural product than using some synthetic deodorant. I'll use a natural toothpaste than a synthetic toothpaste. It's making all of these small decisions in your life every day that either take you and the planet towards good health, or you and the planet towards a premature death and demise. And we not only have a responsibility for ourselves, but a responsibility for our children and our children's children to keep all of us and to keep the planet very healthy.